Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. We are back here to look at how the use of market pricing will be able to break down the outcome certainty in the Tawaruq system. So let us just review what we have done earlier. So we were referring to the facility agreement that the customer desired to have the liquidity of $100,000 at a profit rate of 5% per annum, and the tenure of the facility is 5 years. So the profit margin from this facility amount will be based on the facility amount, $100,000 times 5% times 5 years, and that will give us a profit margin of 25%. And we can see here that the debt created from the facility amount of $100,000 would be the sum of the facility amount plus the profit margin, and that will be $125,000. So that amount of debt is actually representing the sale price of the CPO or the crude palm oil, because the Tawaruq is not a loan; it is a sale. So the sale must be the sale price must be mentioned, or it must be stated in the facility amount, and that would be $125,000. So we will see how the sale price were set up here. So we look at the three basic Tawaruq steps or process. That is, using the deposit fund. The bank would use a deposit fund of $100,000 to buy the CPO from the vendor 1 for $100,000, being the liquidity desired by the customer. And we break down this 100,000 purchases of CPO into the price of the CPO, which is $1,500 per ton, and the quantity of the CPO, that is 16.6 ton. So in a master purchase agreement, we see that the bank will sell the CPO, the 66.6 ton of CPO, or the customer will purchase the CPO at $1,500 per ton for $125,000. Not for $100,000, because the MPA is a credit sale. It's a credit sale where payment will be made by installment over 5 years, and that credit sale at $125,000. And when the customer have taken ownership of the CPO from the MPA, now in order to get the liquidity, the customer will sell the CPO of 66.6 ton to vendor 2 for $100,000 cash at $1,500 per ton, which is the price equivalent to the CPO price in the MPA. So we can see that this Tawaruq system will use only one price to conduct the MPA and MSA in order to attain the certainty in the outcome of the Tawaruq financing, which is to guarantee full repayment of the debt to the bank over 5 years, equivalent to $125,000, and to guarantee that the customer will be able to receive the liquidity of $100,000. So let us see what will happen to the Tawaruq if we actually use the market pricing. And we know that the MPA, in the MPA, the CPO price at 10 AM was quoted at $1,005. But now we are looking at the MSA, because the MSA is the contract that will evidence the sale of the CPO to the vendor 2 for cash proceed. Yeah. So let's say in scenario 1, suppose that at 11 a.m., that is 1 hour after the MPA, that the market price of the CPO has risen from 1,500 to 1,600. Then when the customer sell the CPO at 1,600, then we can see that the sale proceed will be equal to 106,720, and that is more than the facility amount of 100,000 as stated in the facility agreement. But then we will see that the customer, if we are using the prevailing market price, the sale price will be more than $100,000. So the bank will have to come up with an extra 6720. At the same time, the bank is not able to charge the facility of 106,720 because the agreement was that the liquidity of $100,000 is to be disbursed to the customer. So the profit margin can only be charged onto the amount of the facility agreement, which is $100,000. And of course, this will make the bank unhappy. It will leave the bank upset. So that is how we see when the CPO price at 11 a.m. of 16 is used instead of 1500, that will disrupt the Tawaruq financing, and the first will be the impact on the bank that will leave the bank quite disappointed with the outcome of the sale. Now in scenario 2, if the CPO price came down at 11 o'clock instead of the scenario 1 where the price will go up to 1600, let us assume that the price has come down lower than 1500 to 1400, and when the customer sells the CPO at 1400, the sale proceed would be 93,380, which is much lower than the facility amount of $100,000. So the customer will be disappointed because he was expecting to get hold of the full amount of 100K, but he or she is only getting 93,380. But at the same time, the customer has to pay the profit margin based on the higher liquidity amount of 100K. So that will leave the customer very, very unhappy and upset. Again, you can see how using market pricing, it will destabilize the Tawaruq financing, where both parties will be unhappy if we have the case of market pricing during the master sale agreement. So we can see that why is it that the Tawaruq system insists on fixing the MSA price at 1500? Because to ensure that there is outcome certainty in the Tawaruq contract. So a coercion seems to exist between the bank and the vendors to accept the MSA CPO price at 1500, despite the possible movement of the CPO price up and down. The system will ensure that the CPO price for MSA and MPA remain at 1500 and not at the prevailing market price. So this goes against the legal rule of Al-Ghurm bi-Ghunni, that is profit is accompanied with loss, and which constitute a very fundamental principle of Al-Bay'. So Al-Bay' doesn't guarantee any certainty of outcome, because the buy and sell or this sale and purchase in the marketplace is determined by market pricing. It's not determined by an artificial system where price is artificially fixed, or there is some kind of intervention to introduce a price that does not represent the market forces. So what we see is that the Tawaruq system require this artificial pricing to take place in order to guarantee that the bank is able to derive the benefit of riba, without using the principle of al-bay', which is no pay, no gain, or to ensure or profit is accompanied with losses. So by eliminating this legal rule in sale, we can see that the Tawaruq is suspicious, and it is contentious, and it is bound to make people unhappy. And so that's why I was saying that the customer who is using the Tawaruq product must be educated about this so-called CPO transaction, or the underlying transaction, so that they can understand very well what's happening in the background of the facility agreement. Okay guys, we can stop here. I see you again. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.